I think, in just spending a lot of time thinking about hormones and women and how do we lift women up, I feel like we fought for this moment. And I could cry about this because I feel like we fought for this moment. We fought to be at the table with the men and to be heads of corporations and presidents of, of countries. And yet, did we ever stop to think if it was in our best feminine interest, if our feminine body could handle that? And I'm not saying that I came through the womb of a feminist. I am a feminist. I raised a feminist daughter. And I still question if this world is so dysregulated that we've been trying to keep up with something that is destroying us. And if so, where do we go from here?
Well, this is where you and I have to riff together because I'm in a similar boat, mother feminist. I'm a feminist, took women's studies. It was one of my first classes in college. I've got 2 daughters, and we fought for this moment, and what have we won?
Right.
So, in some ways, we're still embedded in a structure that's not designed to honor the feminine.
Yep.
And so, how do we work with our biology better? I've got a few ideas, and I hope that together we could do a feminine thing where we collaborate instead of one of us having the answer.
That is
right?
perfect. That's what I always say that. I'm like, the feminine collaborates, the patriarch competes, the feminine collaborates. Love it.
Yeah. So one thing that we know works really well in terms of stress is to tend and befriend. So, this idea that the stress response, the sympathetic nervous system triggers this fight flight. For most people, that was discovered in the 1930s, and it was discovered in men. And so you can imagine women, sort of our ancestors on the savannah, maybe with like an infant in one arm and a toddler in the other arm, like fighting or running is not going to work well. But if you're part of a group, if you're part of a village where you're protected and you look out for each other and you support each other, and you process together, and you have an emotionally distressing event, but you've got someone to talk to about that. You're not alone with it.
Yeah.
That makes such a difference. And that's really the process of oxytocin. So women are really good at oxytocin, right? We need oxytocin. Estrogen helps with the production of oxytocin. So the more that we can tend and befriend, it's super regulating, and it's even co-regulating. Like one of the things I feel just talking to you, Mindy, I feel us co-regulating each other.
Agreed.
And that's what's so needed. It's what we need. My hope is a podcast could be regulating. It could make you feel better. It could make you feel loved.
Yes.
It could make you feel cared for and inspired and not like you're falling short or you're not doing it right.
Right. Yeah. And oh God, I have so many thoughts on this one. One thing I've been saying to my community lately is we have all these nutrition theories out there in the world, and we start as health professionals start fighting against each other. Like you've got to do this and not this. And we start looking for absolutes. And I just feel like we're never going to find the answer in absolutes. We're going to find the answer in nurture and understanding, taking a principle and applying it and saying, I think this works for me, and then allowing somebody else. Like, let's just use a plant-based diet as an example. I personally don't follow a plant-based diet. I did for many years. It didn't work for me. But I have friends that follow it, women. My yoga instructor, she is one of the healthiest plant-based humans that I know, and it works for her. So what we can't say that there's one diet for every single human on the planet. There's just your diet. And what we see is a lot of animosity and fighting and rhetoric and, people standing up going, but the science says this. And I want to say the same thing about the science. I just want to be like, but the science is like this little isolated thing they took and looked at. Like, let's be our own N of one.